Good morning, friends. Prepared Suburbanite back at you. Well, today is Saturday, May the 18th, and we've had quite a busy week. First, on the updates, Billie got her stitches out of her left ear, and she's doing much, much better. She doesn't have to wear the lampshade anymore, and she's doing very, very good. And thank you for all the folks that commented and shared your thoughts and prayers with us as we saw Billie through this little ordeal of getting that hematoma removed from her left ear. Doing much better, and thank you all for all your thoughts and prayers. We've also hired a contractor to build us a rocking chair front porch. It's going to be about 24 feet long and 8 feet deep, maybe 9 feet deep. We'll have to see what the final plan is. The contractor was here this morning to do some final measurements and things like that to get ready to get permits and all that. So I think that's a really, really good thing. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is this young fella that was at the Benedictine College commencement and gave a speech. He's Catholic. Obviously, the Benedictine College is a Catholic institute, and what this young man said really drove home a point for me. So stick around. So this fella's name is Harrison Butker. He's the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he gave a commencement speech at Benedictine College. And I was very impressed with what he had to say. He extolled the virtues of being a man, being a female, being a woman, being a mother, being a father, and having a family. Just absolutely incredible what he had to say. And of course, the left went nuts, as they always do, thinking that he was inferring something that he did not infer. But these are virtues that conservative Americans really need to understand. And what the reaction was simply stupefying to me. But that's not the point here. Being a father is not an easy job, and it takes a certain kind of a person to be an effective and good father. I know that when my son, and we lost our son about 6 years ago to brain cancer, and some of the after effects of all that as well. And I miss him terribly. I think about him pretty much every single day, and time will never really heal all the wounds that are there from his passing. And he lived a good life, but it was tough getting him there. I can remember right after we first moved to New Hampshire. He was in 6th or 7th grade, I think, at the time. And there was a social gathering, a dance or whatever, at the school where he was attending. And so we took him to the dance, and about an hour and a half later, my daughter gets a phone call from the school principal and said, you got to come down, and somebody's got to come down and pick up your son. And so she got in touch with us. We were next door at a neighbor's house. and he apparently got in a fight at school at this dance, and so hopped in the car, drove down, picked him up, spoke with the principal briefly, got his side of the story, got my son home, got his side of the story, and decided that the very next morning we were going to go to this young kid's house that he got in a fight with. And apparently, from what the stories were, was that this kid was picking on John, and he got what he deserved. And but because John took the first swing, it was all John's fault, and John was the one that got bounced out of the dance and had to have his dad come and pick him up and all that. So the next day, we found out where this kid lived, and he and I got in the car and went to this fella's house. Knocked on the door and met the parents. They seemed like okay people, and said, well, we're here because of what happened at the dance last night at school, and my son has something to say to your son and to you. And so they invited us in, and we just stood in the doorway there, and the young fella came out, and no worse for the wear. And John apologized to him at my request, and the father of this young fella was so overwhelmed by the visit that we got that he kind of bent over backwards to make us feel welcome, make us feel like we were doing the right thing and all that. And my son and this young fella kind of went off to the other room and had a cup of coffee with the young fella's father and his mother. And we talked a little bit about being a good father and what it takes and some of the sacrifices that we have to make as parents to make sure that our kids learn the right lessons about life. And it was a heartwarming moment, but it was tough to really get down to the lesson that my son needed to learn about how to behave, how to handle things, and when to do the right stuff and when to stay away and when to walk away. He learned quite a bit that particular day. And being a dad is really, really a tough job. And this young fella that gave the speech at Benedictine College really did hit the nail on the head. I hope you've seen at least clips of what he had to say and how he said it and how he believed in family, how he believed in the strong role of a good father and of a good mother, who he called a homemaker. And for folks that have followed my channel, you know that my mom was a homemaker, and she really made the home for us. And she bent over backwards to make sure that both me and my sister were welcome, that were loved, that were tended for, that were pampered, that were babied, and that were dealt with tough love when we needed it. It's a tough job to be both a mom and a dad to a growing family. But you know what? In the end result, it's all worth it. And I commend this young fella for having the courage to stand up in front of the whole graduating class from that college and say what needed to be said. This is the Prepared Suburbanite, and be prepared if you're a dad, and if you're a mom, be prepared for what's coming. I'll see y'all on the next video.